Hey guys, my name is Jatova Jones, and I am here with you again this week, sharing with you about movement. Um, Actually, it's interesting that I'm here again this week because I shared a video with you all a few days ago, and I told you that it was my first video of the year. That actually my last video that I had done on Periscope or maybe Facebook Live was exactly a year ago, and I hadn't shared out all of 2017. And so a few days ago it was my first video, and I talked about movement. I told you how the Lord had told me while I was praying with him and talking to him about some things. He told me that success is a series of movement. He told me that nothing has ever been built without movement completion. And so really, if we want to get things done, if we want to be successful, if we want to complete some things in our life, we have to do some type of movement, step by step, little by little. If we want to do more than just little by little, we can do big steps. We can do big moves. But however you choose to do it, it has to be done. Nothing has ever been built without movement completion. And so the Lord said success is a series of movement. So today, I'm stepping out of the box again, and I'm sharing with you again. I'm coming on. I'm still too chicken to do a Facebook Live. And part of I have several reasons for why I'm too chicken to do a Facebook Live, but hopefully by the end of this month or by the beginning of next year, I'll be ready to do a Facebook Live or just a live video, whether it's on Facebook, Periscope, or whatever. But right now, I'm going to stay chicken. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being chicken for right now. But today, this being my second video, me stepping outside of the box, I want to still talk to you about movement. There's one more thing that I want to tell you about movement this week before we can move on to talk about anything else that I have to share with you this year. I realized that there's an enemy out there that actually tries to impact our movement, that tries to stop our movement. And I say enemy, we may have various enemies to our movement. Depends on who you are, depends on where you are, it depends on what affects you. But today we're going to talk about one enemy. And I want to tell you that there's an enemy behind you. There is an enemy behind you. And the enemy behind you tries to impact your movement. In most cases, it tries to stop your movement or stunt your movement. Or I can say that it can stop your movement or it can stunt your movement. I'll say it like that because we're going to be positive and we're going to already agree that we're not going to allow it to. But there's an enemy behind you, and that enemy behind you is called your past. The thing about your past is whether it's good, bad, or ugly, somehow, some way, if you allow it to, it can impact your movement, your forward movement, your movement completion, your movement into your next level, your movement into your next place of success. Your past could greatly impact it. It could actually stop you from moving forward. There's several ways that your past could do that. It depends on the life that you've lived. It depends on the journey that you're on. It depends on how you allow it to affect you. I was talking to a friend the other day, an old friend, a friend that I was friends with back in high school. And so I actually hadn't talked to this friend in a while. And the friend was telling me about someone from the past contacting them. That this person from the past had contacted them, and they were having good conversation, and whatever their conversations were about. And I told this friend, I said, it's okay if you needed to get some things out in the open, or if there was something that you needed to talk about that you had never talked about, but you have to make sure that this person from your past isn't coming up to affect your now or your future. So that's one way. Maybe a person from your past, maybe an incident from your past, maybe a relationship from your past, whatever it is, it may try to come up, and it may actually affect your present or your future. And so in this case, it may affect your movement forward. It may affect your ability to complete movements, to complete things that will lead to your success. That's just one way, and that may depend on the type of relationship. Like in that person's case, in that old friend's case, they were talking about someone they were in a relationship with back many, many years ago. And what happened, as I was talking to this friend, they were telling me about this person who was directly connected to someone that I was friends with many years ago back in my past. And it actually brought up some memories. It brought up some thoughts, and we were able to reminisce on some things. But I had to say to my friend, I said, I don't really allow myself to think much on the person from my past because, I don't want to, sit around trying to rekindle old feelings or rekindle, or what should I say, re-spark or relive old situations or old incidents or whatever, because that's going to impact me now. Now I'm much older. Now I'm married with children. I'm doing different things now, and so that might actually impact my now. But that's just one example. That's just one way that your past could affect you. There's many people, and many of you may be watching, that may have things that happened in your past. Maybe they were bad things. Maybe you did something bad. Maybe you engaged in bad activity. And sometimes the way the enemy caused your past will try to affect your movement forward is it'll try to make you think that you were so bad for what you did in your past that there's no way you can move forward. There's no way you can do better. There's no way that you deserve better or that you're worth more because of the things that you used to do. And so that's another way that your past will try to impact you. Or people from your past may remember the things you did in your past. Maybe you were a bad teenager. Maybe you were getting into trouble. And people from your past will try to remind you of all the bad things you did. And those things could actually make you feel like, gosh, I was pretty bad. I'm not good enough. I'm not doing anything different. I'm not a good person. I can't be successful, or maybe you failed at a lot of things in your past. Maybe you've tried to start your own business several times, or maybe you've tried to get a certain job that you wanted several times, and maybe you failed. And maybe that failed attempt will creep up into your mind now and stop you from taking steps to move forward now. I'm telling you things that may appear to be, bad situations or bad things, but it's not always bad. I had an incident earlier this year, a few months ago. My father passed away. Actually, about 6 months ago, my dad passed away. And I totally unexpected it. And it has been a very hard year, a very hard incident to accept, a very hard truth to accept for myself. And what I realized after my dad passed was there was something different about me. And let me talk about just my relationship with God, or just the time that I spend with God. I love God. I love Jesus. I love to spend time with him. And I did so much more than I did after my dad passed. What I realized after my dad passed, I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. I'm sorry. Now, hold on. Let me tell you. I had to come out of my house to get into my car to do a video for you guys, because inside I have 3 little boys and my 2 nieces are here as well. And we have Christmas music going. We have hot cocoa going. We had like Christmas activities around our city going on today. So they are all the way turned up in the house. So I had to come out here to do a video. I actually was supposed to share a video with you guys on yesterday, but the weather was so bad and I have been so sick. I have a cold. You may not be able to tell right now, but I'm actually out of breath talking to you right now because I am about to have a baby in about 5 weeks. So I'm already out of breath and I have a really bad cold. And so it almost feels like I can't breathe, but I was determined to get on here and share with you guys. So I probably should have told you that in the beginning, but since my lights went out in my car, I had to tell you that I had to sneak outside just to do a video, just to share with you guys, because it's very important that I begin to share with you all so that you know what I'm doing and I'm able to, release the things to you that the Lord has given me to share with the world. So that's what I'm doing. But let's get back to what I was saying. So my dad passed away. It was very hard for me. And what I found was that during the time of my dad passing, that I struggled. I struggled with my time with the Lord. I struggled with my prayer time. There were many days where I just didn't know what to pray. I didn't know how, I knew the Lord loved me and I know how to pray. I pray often. I pray for other people. I spend quality time with the Lord. He's my father, like really. But when my dad, my earthly dad, passed away, I struggled with opening my mouth. Like I didn't even know what to say to the Lord. I didn't know how to pray to the Lord. And God is so good. What he would do is he would tell me, I'm with you. I haven't left you. He just kept reminding me, I haven't left you. I'm with you. I haven't left you. I haven't left you. And so he would just tell me that. And I got stronger and stronger. I began to just rely on worship just to get me through, and it may be the bare minimum that I did starting out. But that's what I had to rely on. Once I got to a place where I could handle it more, I could deal with it more, I could talk to the Lord more, then I felt really bad. I was like, oh my goodness, God, I haven't been spending time with you. I should be ashamed of myself. I am ashamed, I was apologetic to him. And what he began to tell me was, of course he was still saying, I haven't left you. I haven't failed you. But something that the Lord said to me that really stuck out. He told me that I was focusing on my routine. He said that the way I did things before my father passed away, that was my routine. That was my way of doing things. And what the Lord was saying to me was, you're so focused on the past, the way you used to do things, that you're allowing it to make you feel guilty, or to make you feel ashamed, or to make you feel like you can't, like you're not worthy to come before me now because you're not doing things the way you used to do it. He even told me, what if the way you used to do it was what you needed to prepare you for now? And so now you did things a certain way so that you could be supported, so that you could be strengthened, so that you can handle what you had to face with your dad passing. But now there's a new way of doing things. Now you're stepping into new territory. Now there's a new level. Now there's a new thing to learn in me. And so, I had to marinate on that for a while, because at first, I heard him. I was like, I hear you, Lord. You're right. But it felt different. It felt different because I wasn't used to doing things the way that I do them now. I was used to doing them my old way. I was used to getting up at a certain time every single morning, spending a certain amount of time with the Lord every single morning or every single day, doing things exactly how, I had a way of doing them. And after my dad passed, I was different, or I did things differently, you know. But what the Lord was saying was, that does not mean you can't move forward. That does not mean that I don't love you still. That doesn't mean that you can't have, you know, a relationship with me now. Not only did I struggle because my dad passed, but I also struggled because I'm pregnant. And now when I wake up in the morning, I can't necessarily have that full devotional time with the Lord. I have to wake up because I have to eat, or if I don't eat, I'm going to be sick, you know, or I have other children as well. And so if I don't, you know, by the time I get done handling myself and my morning sickness, then I have to see to my kids. And so the Lord was pretty much just encouraging me and letting me know that you don't have to do things the way you did them in your past. And so I shared that story with you to let you know that it's not always, it doesn't always have to be a bad thing from your past that impacts your movement, but it could be good. It could be something that was good, something that was positive from your past, and you're so stuck on how you did things or how things were that it's hard for you to move forward now, because you're looking for things to look the way they used to look, or to feel the way they used to feel, or to sound the way they used to sound, and it just may not happen that way. So I'm here today to encourage you, to tell you that when you're doing this thing called movement, so that you can get to your next, so that you can do the thing that you've been wanting to do, or the thing that the Lord has put on you to do, don't rely on your past. Matter of fact, don't even look behind you. Keep your eyes straight ahead, looking at the Lord, never looking away. Do not look behind you, because there's an enemy behind you, and it's called your past. And it could be good, bad, or ugly, but either way, it could, and I'm going to say could because it doesn't affect everybody the same, but it could hinder you moving forward. Well, that's all I want to share with you today. I am going to get back inside because it's cold here. I'm out of breath talking to you. I don't know if you can hear my breathing, but I'm very big and pregnant, and so I'm out of breath just sitting here talking to you. And there's a lot of Christmassy stuff going on inside. So my boys, they have Christmas music going, hot cocoa going, you know, there's a lot of good times. So I enjoy being here with you. I enjoy sharing with you. I hope that you all were blessed from the message that I shared today. I'll see you in a couple of days. Talk to you later. Bye.